Hello everyone, I'm Fathom, a bad who has slow internet. In today's video, we're gonna see how to create this storytelling like Fierce to Fathom in Unity. This video was actually suggested by our dear friend with this ID. Hope all the very best for you wherever you are. This video will be put inside a series of videos covering Unity tips and tricks, and also in another series of videos covering functions from the game Fierce to Fathom in Unity. Some of these functions are also used in my own game called Fractured Psyche, which is available both on Windows and Android. It's a psychological horror game. If you guys are into this stuff, I'll be happy if you could check it out. The links in the description. All the files used and created in this video are available in my GitHub. You can get to it with the link in the description. With all that being said, let's put on the mask and begin. As I said in the intro, we're gonna cover the storytelling in this video. The thing we need here is a black panel, as you see in the reference video from Fierce to Fathom. So we just have to create a UI canvas. You're gonna go to this canvas's settings, go to the inspector tab, select the canvas, and go down here to the canvas scaler, put it on scale with screen size, give a full HD resolution 1920 by 1080, and put this one at 0.5 so it scales accordingly. Right now, right click on the canvas. I'm gonna add a UI panel, so UI panel, and I wanna click on this anchor and hold Alt, as you see, and I'm going to press this so it stretches to the whole screen, and I'm going to deactivate anything related to the texture for this image. So it is like this. I'm going to make it completely black, make the alpha 100, and now we have a black screen. And the next thing we need some texts here. I'm going to be using Text Mesh Pro because it is actually better than Unity's own UI text, the legacy text. So I'm gonna right click on canvas and add a UI Text Mesh Pro here, and I'm gonna go to the scene view. I'm gonna press on this 2D up here so it goes to 2D view. I'm gonna press F to go to my text, and I'm gonna put my text like here in the center up here. I'm gonna also show you the view for it. You see it is here, and if it is okay, so I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna stretch it on both sides. So I'm gonna hold Alt and I'm gonna stretch so it stretches on both sides. Yeah, that is it. And I'm gonna put it here. You see, we have this text that is here, and we're gonna write story on it. We need a couple of texts here. So this is for T1. I'm gonna call it T1 for text number 1. Let me just write something random here. So I'm gonna put it on bold to make the text bold. Maybe not bold, yeah, not bold, not the bold one. This one is actually looking better, and I'm gonna give it a yellowish color, a little bit near to orange, put it a little bit near to white so it gets that, yeah, this color is what I want. You can give it any effects you want, but I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna put it at the center and the center alignment to the center, and I know how long my text is gonna be, so I don't have to touch anything else to auto size maybe or anything. This one is okay. We want to type something random. We can write on it. Say this story is about Muhammad. If you guys don't know, Muhammad is my name. It is not Muhammad, it is Muhammad, but yeah, Muhammad is a short form of Muhammad. So this story is about Muhammad. So we have this here for the first sentence. We can duplicate this. You can duplicate by holding Control, pressing D, or right click and duplicate. I'm gonna call this one T2, and I'm gonna put it a little bit down here. So it is here. We're gonna change it. Yeah, you're gonna do it again and again. So I'm gonna duplicate it again, Control D, move it a little bit down on the y-axis. You're gonna just duplicate it and do it as long as you want. I'm gonna put it a little bit down like here is okay. These are for group number 1. You can add something for the group number 2, which is like just duplicating this one again and again. Yeah, we have these here. I'm gonna duplicate it again. I'm gonna put it down here. I'm gonna call it T5 with the capital for the group number 2, and I'm gonna deactivate anything there was before. I'll put this one a little bit down here. I think that is everything. Because this is a test, we're not gonna, write a lot of stuff. So we know these 4 are a group, and these 2 are not a group. I'm gonna right click here. I'm gonna create a folder, call it scripts. To put the scripts inside it, I'm gonna right click, create a mono behavior script. I'm gonna call it Fierce to Fathom. storytelling underline manager. I'm just gonna manage the function we're gonna do. Since this is a normal function, it only has like 6 sentences and it is very simple. We're not gonna use hard functions inside it. We're just gonna do it the simple way. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get a reference to all of these texts. Since we just want to activate and deactivate them, we just have to get them like a game object. So we're just gonna say public so we can get them. Game object, we have to make it an array. Then I'm gonna call it txts. And if you guys don't know what this array is actually a container of type game object that allows us to put multiple game objects inside one container. You know, instead of writing, for example, public game object text 1, 2, 3, you know, instead of writing this, I just made a container of game object and I put the texts inside it. And if I want to access, for example, text number 1, if it is the house number 1 of this container, we just say game object, for example, house number 0 dot do something, and that house number 0 is, for example, this text 1. And that was a quick explanation of what an array is. So what we want to do is we don't need update now, we're not going to do anything with it. So what we want to do is we want to do it inside an enumerator, because we want to wait some time, and then when a mouse button was clicked, we just activate the next object, the next and the next until it is finished. So how do we do that? We can simply do that inside an enumerator. It is a simple way and it is not hard to understand, and this is we don't have to make it confusing because the function is not hard and we don't have a lot of sentences. We just have, for example, 6 sentences, and we can just use this way. First we have to create an enumerator. If you see, it adds Unity using system.collections up here. We have this enumerator. I'm just gonna say tell story underline co. You can name it whatever you want. I want to name it this way. It's gonna give an error, no worries. It just has to return a value. We'll fix it in the upcoming minutes. We have it here. We just have to call this one from void start. So when the game starts, it actually runs this enumerator. So how do we start it? We're just gonna say start coroutine. Just tell it to run a coroutine, and we just give it the tell story co. And when the game starts, it's gonna run this enumerator. What do we want to do? By default, when the game starts, we want to wait, for example, like 1 second. Then we want to activate the first sentence. Then wait for the player's input. For example, pressing any key, whether it's keyboards or mouse press or anything. Then it's going to continue. We just have to wait 1 second first. So we say yield, return, new, wait for seconds, wait for 1 second. So we tell it to wait 1 second. Then activate the first text game object. So we say texts, house number 0, as I said, dot set active true. So what it does is it first, when the game starts, it waits 1 second, then it activates the first object, the first sentence of this container. And now what do we want to do? We want to check if we have pressed any key. If we did, we want to continue and add the next text. So we just say we wait till we press a mouse key. So how do we do that? We make another enumerator. So enumerator, I'm gonna call it press any key underline co. So what do? We make an infinite loop that checks if player has pressed any key. If it did, it returns a value, and when it did actually return a value, we continue this enumerator. So how do we do that? Let me just first write the codes, then I'll explain it again. So we just say while. So while what? While we wait for any input. So we say input any key down. So it waits until you press any key on your keyboard, then it returns a value. So we're just gonna say yield return null. So it waits a frame, then it comes out. How do we call it? In here we just have to say yield return press any key co. What this does is, let me explain it. We made this enumerator which will not return any values or finish until you press any key. It is an infinite while that checks if you press any key. If you did, it's gonna yield return null. It's gonna return a null value, and you can continue your work. So how do we wait for one click? We just tell this enumerator, the tell story coroutine. He tells, for example, the code, I want to wait for an answer from my friend, press any key. And if he did answer me, he did return a value, then I'll continue. And how do you do that? You just say yield, return, wait for a value from this press any key. As easy as that. So what we want to do next is we want to write texts house number 1 dot set active true. As easy as that. So there might be a bug is when you press this left mouse or any key on your keyboard, it would count it as 2, and it's when you type it rapidly, it's just gonna write it all the way. To prevent bugs from happening, I want to wait for 0.1 second, 0.1 second before getting any key inputs to prevent the bug from happening. It is just to prevent the bug from happening. Wait for seconds, 0.1f, or maybe a little. I want to wait for this value, then I'm gonna wait for any key press, and I'm gonna do it again and again. We have 4 texts for the first group, so we can just copy it and paste it down here, change this one to 2, and when we reach 3, the next time we're gonna do it is we're gonna deactivate these 4 and activate these 2. How do we do that? You can do it manually and you can do it inside a for loop, but I'm gonna do it manually so it is easier. So false, you just deactivate it one by one. For all the things that you wrote before, you just deactivate all of them and you activate the next group, the first object of the next group. Then you wait again for a key press and txt house number 5 that's set active true. And then when all the story is written and you press the left mouse key, you can load the next scene or any scene you want. You're gonna wait for a mouse press, then you can load the next scene, and I'm gonna say load the next scene. For example, if you want to load the next scene, we can check it till here, then we'll continue. So we have to give this script to an object. I'm going to create an empty object. I'm going to call it script holder because it is going to hold our script. So I'm going to put this transform at 0, 0, 0. It is just a thing I do, and I'm going to give the script to it. As you see, it has a drop down that it takes any amount of objects you're going to give it. So I'm going to need, for example, 6 objects. You can say 6 here and give it one by one. Or the easier way is you can select the object with the holder place. Then you will click on this lock icon. So when you press anything else, it doesn't go away. Then you select all the objects and drag and drop it into this list. And it is going to, give it all at once. Then unlock it, and now I'm gonna deactivate everything at first, and we can go ahead and check this out. You see it wastes 1 second. It writes the first one. If I press any key, for example, I'm gonna press U, it writes the next one. If I press the left mouse key, next one, then he writes this one, and then finish. So it is finished now. What do we want to do for the finish? For example, we want to load the next scene. Just say scene manager dot load scene, for example, game scene. For example, this is not, I don't have a game scene. So what you're gonna do when you're finished is you're just gonna have to write it here. That was how to make it, but there's one thing inside Fears to Fathom, and that thing is a text down here saying press any key to continue. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna right click on the canvas, go to UI, add a text mesh pro. I'm gonna make it so it is actually down here. I'm gonna put it at the center, make it smaller, like 25 is okay. Make the opacity a little bit lower. It was like this in Fears to Fathom. You're just gonna say press any key to continue. For example, down here, press key. You have it here. It is activated by default. You see it is here. If it's 1 second, you press any key, it continues, and done. So you see it, I could just press things very fast. If you want to, increase it and wait a little bit more time before checking the clicks, you can add this, increase these times to, for example, 0.1 or anything you want. But I'm okay with this value. It is in your hand. You can do whatever you want. So that was how to make storytelling like Fierce to Fathom in Unity. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, a like would be very amazing. You can subscribe to see more contents like this. You can tell me anything in the comment section below. Anything you have to say to me, any suggestions, anything you just want to say, it is free to say it down there. I'll be happy to answer it. Hope all the very best for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.